Welcome to the Dreamer's Den. Day 3 of 3, here we are. Find yourself a quiet and comfortable space. Maybe a yoga mat, a journal, a pen. Anything that makes you comfortable here and now in this time together. And feel free to like and comment as we flow through this space. I'd love to hear from you and your experiences and share with your friends. Enjoy. Hello and welcome. Make sure I see my screen here. So welcome to the Dreamer's Den. It's so funny I said dragon. The Dreamer's Den, and this is day 3, our final day, where we are connecting in a beautiful container and space created for embodiment, for visionaries and light workers and practitioners. So if you're joining, feel free to grab your yoga mat and a pen and paper if you want to take notes. The replay will be up so you can go back and enjoy some of the inner inquiry as well later. So right now you can simply enjoy this practice of the presence as we come together in this space. So I hope you enjoyed day 1 and 2. I know I am so grateful for all of the feedback. Thank you so much for commenting live and on the replay, and even your private messages that were sent in appreciation in this space, on how much this space supported you. So I very, very much appreciate that feedback. And so invite a deep breath in, really, really deep breath in, and land here in this spot. It's so beautiful to connect to our breath and to create space in this way. And so when we are holding big space for others, it's very, very important to cultivate a life where you are continuously holding space for yourself. And so today's container, the theme is illuminate, blossom, cultivate, and nurture. So each day had its own theme. Day 1 was actually the art of intention setting. Day 2, we focused on the relationship of reflection alongside our relationship with the unknown and possibilities. And now we enter the stage of illuminate, blossom, cultivate, and nurture. So now you kind of have an idea and an understanding as to where we're going with this and how this can deeply support your existing practices, or even inspire you to bring depth to your practices, and even some of the questions, because each day I've invited some journal prompts and questions to really go deeply, deeply within yourself. And so in today's conversation, the first question I'd love to invite into our hearts is, how will you continue to nurture your seeds of intention? Right? And what does this look like and feel like? So as you are pondering these things, feel free to share it in the comments. I will be reading the comments after this session and connecting with you. If you have any questions, place it in the comments, whether you're watching live or the replay. I'd love to welcome you in. And I'd love to reply to you as well. And so I'll be checking after this session. And as well, at the end, there'll be room for intuitive guidance. So if there's something you're looking for support with, I will offer that space as well. And just so you know, if you're watching the replay, that space is still open as well. So I will reply to your comment if you're looking for some intuitive guidance. So how will you continue to nurture your seeds of intention? What does this look like and feel like? And so with this question, I really, really invite you to sit down sometime with this question and really write it out. Write it down and keep it somewhere that you can go back to it. Keep it in a place that it will be supportive to you and nurturing to you. Because this is really essential to continue to notice how we show up for our intentions and show up for ourselves in this space. And the other question that follows the first two is, what do you need to cultivate a strong foundation to be the witness of what is rising within you? And I'd like to pause here for a moment and invite us to lean into that. What does that mean for you? You know, what do you need to cultivate a strong foundation to be the witness of what is rising within you? We have so many feelings and emotions and memories and stories and just things that just rise through us. And all of these things are, you know, simply waiting to be witnessed. So whether they're uncomfortable or joyful, it's a beautiful love note either way. And so how we hold space for ourselves and how we nurture whatever is rising, the conversation and our relationship with what is rising is a really powerful thing to notice. Because quite often, as I spoke a little bit to in our initial session in day one, is that when we set an intention, sometimes what can happen is beliefs and things that haven't yet been fully explored come up. So you might get a little uncomfortable for a moment, and it's often unwitnessed emotions and feelings that are inviting you to share a conversation. So in these moments, I always like to say, invite it in for tea. You don't need to have it stay too long. Allow it just to be seen, it can be heard, and allow it to, it'll pass, all the things, allowing them to come and go and pass as they please. There's so much room for all of it. And so when we are setting these deep intentions and creating these spaces, it's interesting because we often have this perception that when we create these containers to hold space for ourselves, that they need to look or be a certain way, that they need to be high vibe, you know, high vibe in the sense of, you know, a so-called positive state of being, you know. And there really is no positive or negative emotions. They're all intelligent resources. Yet we seem to label good or bad and positive and negative, and notice how that rises within you, right? So when we cultivate or our relationship with these containers of it trying to be a certain way, whether that be, oh, you know, I'm going to create this container and become relaxed, or I'm going to become high vibe, or I'm going to elevate my vibes. It is nice to have these intentions, but I really would love to encourage you to explore that when you create these containers, to allow everything to rise into the space that's needed to be here. Because the high vibe in the true multidimensional self is our capacity and ability to feel all ranges of emotions and states of being. That is the purest high vibration. Right. And I'd like to offer a few things that may inspire you to kind of support yourself. These are some things that I do to inspire me as I, you know, continue to cultivate the depth of my self-care and how I hold space for myself in my life. And let me know if these are supportive for you, or maybe you already do these things. So some of the things that I do are placing reminders in my phone for self-care. So I will actually say on a Sunday, I'll put in my phone, taking a bath, you know, 2 p.m. Might not happen exactly at 2 p.m., but at least I have it in there, and I have a block of time that if someone comes and says, you know what, do you want to do this thing? I'm like, no, I'm busy. And it's maybe my self-care time. And so I make that a priority in my schedule. And then really cultivating a daily and weekly space to revisit and nurture your energy. I very much encourage a daily, and then at least once a week, spending just a little bit more time than you would daily is incredibly supportive. Connecting with a community that inspires you within these spaces is so essential. I not only hold space for a community like this, but I also belong to several communities that I am able to receive and connect to like-minded, and I find that is incredibly supportive and inspiring because we can exchange ideas and we can lift each other up and we can really witness each other in these places and spaces. And then I would invite conversations with yourself or with others of how you'll stay accountable to nurturing yourself and what that looks like for you. And then supporting yourself with a guide or a mentor is incredibly important as well. Whether that be that can be in the form of maybe a mentorship site, so maybe that's like a virtual guide that you visit on a regular basis. Maybe that is an in-person guide or virtual guide in the sense of, meeting virtually and sharing those conversations. Very, very important, especially if you are holding space for others in such a deep, meaningful way. It is very important for you to be having your own guide and your own mentor and team behind you to support the work that you do. I know it is incredibly challenging to hold space without having that support team, without having those guides. And yeah, so let me know how that lands with you, and if there's any other things that you would like to share and add to the list, please feel free to expand on what I have shared with your wisdom. And so the next practice I would love to dive into today is one of my favorite things leading into the upcoming year is choosing 1 to 3 words that inspire for the year. And so I actually already have mine. I have 3 words written on this piece of paper. I typically choose 3. I love the number 3, and so I often choose that, and I like variety as well. And so what I do with this word is I keep it on my altar, and I have it in my space so that I can revisit it either daily or weekly or monthly. And it is normally a word that comes to me intuitively, so don't feel like you have to think too hard and you'll get the wrong word. Just trust what comes to you. And then with this word, it's so interesting how it can show up and flow through you throughout the year, and how this word can guide you so very deeply. I know last year one of my words was visibility, actually, was to allow myself to be seen and to be witnessed. And I knew there was, I could feel aspects of myself that I was trying to push down or hide. And so it was a very interesting year, 2020, for me to choose the word visibility. Little did I realize at the beginning of 2020 that we would be in a collective illumination and visibility. So that word supported me with such depth because I was able to revisit it, my relationship with that word, and continue reflecting with that word and inviting that word to support me. So I would go into meditation, and I would sometimes hold my piece of paper and just allow any channeling or messages to come through. And it's the frequency and essence of the word that inspires your inner wisdom. And so it's a very beautiful practice to support you. And so I'd invite you to, whether you want to write down a word right now or just close your eyes and think about, not even think about, feel, let it rise naturally. And sometimes I place a hand on my heart. So you may already have this practice and you've chosen a word, or maybe you want to start now and explore this, what it's like for you, so you can invite the word to come to you. It can be anything that really inspires you. And feeling it within the body. And when you have that word, you can either write it down or write it down later. I like to sometimes take my word and place it at the top of my mat so it's in sight. That's often very helpful as well. And so let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You can share what your word is. If you want to keep it secret, that's okay as well, if you want to keep it to yourself. And you can share it with the group. That would be lovely also, either way. And let's dive into some movement and some embodiment practice. Now that we've invited a word into our practice, let's feel it within the body. And so today's practice is also inspired, if you've been connecting with the first 2 videos, there has been a theme in our practice and movement flow. So we began in the seed, in the womb space, and then in day 1 and day 2, we then began a little more movement and flow and expansion. So let's explore today's movement. So we're going to begin on our backs. So finding your way there, feet at the back of the mat, hands by your sides, your palms can be faced up, or maybe you want to rest them on your tummy, maybe one on your heart and one on your tummy. Whatever feels right for you. And from here you can close your eyes and know that in this practice that you are the true guide. All of these postures and experiences are suggestions. You take care of your body and flow how you need to flow. Let's begin by inviting the Ujjayi breath as we lie on our back. So the Ujjayi breath is where we are creating an ocean-like sound with our breath. So the mouth is closed and we're breathing through the nose. And it sounds a little something like this. So if you are new to the Ujjayi breath, you can even practice the experience of how that sound would maybe be explored. If you've never done it before, one way to experience it is by placing your hand in front of your mouth and almost creating that like as if you're fogging up a mirror. So doing that. And then when your mouth is closed, recreating that. So continue to breathe. Maybe even imagining the ocean around you. It's pretty easy for me to imagine I am actually surrounded by the ocean here where I live. So if you'd like to tune in to this beautiful energy of the land that I'm on, feel free to do so if you're not close to an ocean. And then when you're ready, you can either keep doing the Ujjayi breath throughout the practice, it's up to you. Or you can allow your breath to be a little more softer, but still focused on the breath. And bending the knees so that the bottoms of the feet are on the mat. Just 2 deep breaths here. And then we'll go into happy baby. So lifting the feet up, bringing the bottoms of your feet to your fingers, and then feet in the air, and your happy baby can either rock back and forth or be still. It's up to you, whatever your baby wants to do. Noticing what's rising in the body, any thoughts or narrative. There's no wrong or right. It's about flowing, letting it be natural, and tapping into how your body wants to move today, no matter how it moved yesterday or the day before. And then coming back to center. And then drawing the knees towards the chest, and you can either place a hand on each shin, or you can wrap your arms around your legs. And so we'll be coming into a seated position. So you can make your way slowly. You can rock a couple times and come up into seated. Do what's best for your back. And then we'll actually come onto our knees. Sitting our heels or tailbone onto the heels. Palms face down. So from here, let's invite little bursts of energy, a little flow. You know, sometimes there's these quick actions needed in the moment. Knowing when to dive in, knowing when to pause. And so this energy, let's invite the energy of diving in. And so our little flow will consist of sitting on our knees. And then we'll inhale, lifting into a tall mountain on the knees. And as you're on your knees, you can press the tops of the feet into the mat, lifting the fingertips to the sky and making sure that your shoulders are relaxed. Coming back down onto the knees. So we'll flow with breath. So inhale, exhale, inhale. A few more times. once more. Sitting on your knee or your heels for a moment. Maybe even closing the eyes and placing a hand on the heart, hand on the tummy. Maybe even inviting a deep breath in and sigh. Let's try that again. Once more. And opening the eyes. And let's slowly find our way into a forward fold. So I'll invite a prompt, a way to get there. Coming forward onto your hands and come onto your fingertips. One foot at the top of the mat and supporting yourself with the next foot. And we're in our forward fold. Allowing yourself to simply hang here for a moment, bending your knees as much as you need to. It might be your first forward fold of the day. And so from here, let's rise with so much intention that we are connecting to each and every movement as we rise. So let's begin by bending the knees, bringing the awareness to the heels, making sure that the chest is elevated and reaching for the sun. Palms facing upwards as if we're lifting the energy up. So pushing in through the heels, let's begin to straighten the knees, chest coming up, hands coming up, fingertips coming all the way up, relaxing the shoulders. And bringing your awareness to the four corners of the feet, just below the base of the big toe, below the base of the pinky toe, the inner edge of the heel and the outer edge of the heel. Relaxing the toes. You can even pick the toes up and spread them wide and gently place them back down. The toes are effortless in this moment. Slowly lowering the arms. Palms face forward, mountain. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Opening your heart. And saying welcome to whatever rises for you. Easy twisting, so simply twisting from side to side, lifting your heel, allowing your arms to be heavy. And then slowly coming back to center and finding your way back to a seated position. And if you'd like, you can also lay down in Shavasana. You can sit down. This is your practice. It's for you. And so you can even close your eyes and revisit the word that maybe came to you at the beginning of the practice. The word that will inspire you and support you and nurture you throughout 2021. Feeling it in the body. Inviting it to be your guide. And then when you're ready, you can keep your eyes closed and be in this space as long as you want, as long as you need. Go into any other practices following this as well. And I'd love to open up the space. If you have any reflections or feedback, feel free to share them in the comments. And also, this is the time, I'm going to check our comments there too, where if you are looking for some intuitive guidance on your practices or embodiment, or maybe there's something flowing through you right now that you're looking for intuitive guidance on, feel free to drop them in the comments, whether you're watching the live or the replay. If you're watching the replay, I will come back and reply, and I'm gonna check. Thank you so much for journeying with me, with all of us really, in the Dreamer's Den. I really hope you enjoyed our time together. And if you have, don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends. And if you're looking to go deeper within your embodiment journey or within your practices, I offer 45-minute sessions that are absolutely complimentary. They're mini embodiment sessions, and they are for souls who are wanting to elevate their conversation within their embodiment journey, to go deeper into the tools and practice and practical application. And it's a space for leaders and visionaries and practitioners who are super serious and passionate about their work and sharing their medicine.